Welcome to Read Your Comics. Today I'm looking at Incredible Hulk 360. Thanks for joining me today. My name is Daryl. I am the host of Read Your Comics. I'm going to be continuing my look at the Peter David run of the Hulk. However, this issue is not written by Peter David. I did not realize that his run was broken up. I think I probably read this issue back in the day, completely thinking it was Peter David and not really paying attention. But now I'm looking at it going, oh, this wasn't Peter David. And I think I might know why. But before I jump into that, I just want to give a quick shout out to all the viewers' support. All your likes, comments, and shares are appreciated. If you haven't done so already, please subscribe so you don't miss any future videos. There's going to be a graphic. I'm going to put it right here. Go ahead and do that. That does all the YouTube-y algorithmic things. And then we can just go ahead and move on to this comic. I don't love this cover. Although everything on this cover happens in the book, I just don't love the way it's set up. Like, who is this Skull guy? I don't know. If I was just picking this up, some kid, if I wasn't getting Hulk monthly, would this attract me to pick it up? I don't know that it would. It's just skull face, pale, pasty guy, rock arms, a woman getting sucked up into a tide pool. You got a kind of a skinny looking Hulk. Even his pants aren't even ripped. Like, what's going on here, right? I don't love this cover, but like I said, this stuff does happen in the book. Now, that said, it is done by the same person that does the interiors, Dan Reed. I don't know Dan Reed. What else has he done? If you know, please let me know in the comments, because I'm not familiar with Dan Reed. I do like the interior work he does, though. It has a very 80s house style Marvel that I like. I like that style of art for that era. I don't necessarily want everything done like it to this day, but I did like that style of art, and I enjoy seeing it. Still to this day, when I get books that aren't your McFarlane, your Jim Lee, Silvestri, etc., there was just another like house style of Marvel, and this Dan Reed in this issue kind of fits that mold. It's very clear. He does a good job telling the story throughout. I just don't love the cover. Mary Severin's doing the inks on it. Maybe that helps too. I don't know. But Bob Harris is the writer on here. And Bob Harris, mostly known as an editor. He does some writing, but like I said, I'm going to get to why I think Bob Harris wrote this and not Peter David. Anyway, we got Despair and Nightmare, and I'm familiar with both of these characters. However, I don't think I knew that they were cousins. They're the Endless. This came out either the year that Sandman came out or even a little bit before it, maybe. So I find that kind of hilarious as I read this. They're the Endless. We have Dream and we have a Despair, right? But anyway, they're cousins, and apparently, according to the dialogue here, once a year they combine forces to more or less torment somebody. And Despair has decided he wants to pick on Betty Banner. And Nightmare is like, yeah, I know who that is. The wife of Bruce Banner, a pathetic creature I once trifled with. And that is a callback to the Hulk 290 through 300 issues where Banner had control of the Hulk's body. It was Banner's brain. It wasn't a merged Hulk situation. It was Banner actually controlling the Hulk. So Nightmare got involved and made that all fall apart, and it led to the Crossroads, the interdimensional Crossroads story, which is an era of Hulk I really like. Sal Buscema did most of the art in it. Bill Sienkiewicz did some covers. It's a cool era, but Nightmare referencing that. So a little callback to that some, 5-6 years before this issue took place. Again, I like what's happening here. I like the art style here of how he's drawing Despair. The thing about Despair is he's neat looking, but he's also kind of generic looking, which makes that skull on the front cover just non-descriptive, at all. And I like this, soul flying out here or whatever is going on. Now we're going to get to where I think Peter David bowed out of writing this issue. We're going to catch up with Betty. And last we saw Betty, she was pregnant. And immediately we're going to find out she had a miscarriage. I think Peter David did not want her to have that miscarriage. I think he introduced her being pregnant. I think he had plans to do something with that. I think editorial got involved and said, no, they cannot have a baby. We already have this problem in Fantastic Four with Franklin. We don't need the Hulk having a baby too. And I really do think that that's why Bob Harris is writing this issue. This is me speculating. I don't have any proof of that. I tried looking it up, couldn't find any confirmation. Nothing really even mentioning it. If you know that and you want to let me know in the comments, please do, because I would like to reference that and cite it somehow. But that is my speculation as to why Peter David did not write this issue. So it just happened. She just had the miscarriage. And notice that she's in some sort of like religious hospital with nuns and stuff around. That's kind of important in the future. Don't know it at the time. So here comes Despair after Rick has left the room and left her to get some rest. Here comes Despair and Nightmare. And I like this line from Nightmare. Despair, this is not quite what I expected. Are we to claim this woman's soul through the torture of boredom? Because they arrive in some just like suburban house, that looks real nice. But Despair is going to call out Nightmare for not having any sense of like theatrics, so to speak. So he's going to give her everything she wants. Here comes Bruce with the baby. Not only that, her father, who was dead at the time, her ex-husband, who had perished at the time, they're all going to be there, and they're all going to have this like lovely, happy reunion of sorts. So then Despair kind of is like, oh, I get what you're not Despair. Then Nightmare kind of gets what he's up to, but wants to put his own touch to it. So, well, first Despair like takes them all away. So give her what she wants and then take it away to like add to her torment and her anguish. And Nightmare is like, fine, I'm going to turn the baby into a monster Hulk coming at her. And I like the way this is done. I like the monster looking Hulk baby. The drool coming out is nice and over the top. It's got almost like long fingernails. It's wearing a diaper. But I like that aspect of it. It just doesn't stick around because Despair doesn't like it. Despair's like, you're too uncouth. You're going at it with like a blunt instrument when I'm using a scalpel to like really just break this soul down so that she is like ours eternally. And Nightmare's like, fine, I'm going to go off. I'll be back later. You do what you want with her. He's like, I'm going to go get the Hulk. I'm going to go get Bruce Banner and the Hulk. I'm going to bring them along to add to the mix of torment. And that's exactly what he does. Like, look at the face here. That's a pretty good skull face there on Despair. Again, and like Nightmare right here, too. He's got greenish hair. He has like heavy black around his eyes. None of that is descriptive on this cover. If you don't know that this is Nightmare in the book, this does not look like Nightmare. It just looks like pasty face guy. If you don't know this is Despair, I mean, he's got like the fang right here, but there's nothing else. You can't see his costume or anything. And these hands don't help. These hands do not belong to either one of these characters. So nothing about that is descriptive enough. That's why I'm just going to critique that cover some more. So he brings the Hulk in, and he's going to make it to where the Hulk is kind of the one killing all the people that she cares about. And to further cement how awful even like having Bruce and the Hulk in her life was. Rick wants to go in and check on her. Great shot of an eye there. The Hulk is actually trying to distract right here. Of course, Betty doesn't realize it really is the Hulk, like it is the Hulk. And I mean, that's a great shot too of Despair's skull face, like screeching. Good eye shot there. I like this panel set up here of the two of them. So now he starts changing back and forth between Banner and the Hulk, and they're also having their kind of like duality of like, the Hulk is the big strong one that can save her, but Bruce is the one that kind of can see what's going on and so forth. So and he's like having a nightmare and smashing the clock. I guess I should point out too that there is like a continuity of like timeline error here, because last we saw in this Hulk title is the Hulk had been fired by Baron Getty, and then he had that big battle with the Devil or Clute, and now he's back. And I mean, maybe he just went back. He's like, I'm gonna go sleep in my room or whatever. Like, I'm gonna go rest there until he like officially kicks me out. What's he gonna do? Maybe, I don't know, but um, and it just goes on like this for a few pages. Again, I'm pretty satisfied with the art in this overall. Maybe the Mary Severin inks really pop, and Bob McLeod did the inking on the cover. I like the background too. This is kind of like Nightmare's costume. Of course, Nightmare actually dates all the way back to the early Doctor Strange Ditko issues. So when you compare him to Morpheus, like I did earlier in the video here, yeah, he predates the character by far. Look at the swirly patterns here and despair and stuff going on. So they're doing their best to try to like just break Betty down. Here's your stone arms, like because he changes back into Bruce. And there's the stone hands from the cover. There they are again, holding him down. There's Betty getting sucked into the tide pool. I like the panel layouts here. They're hovering faces. I guess that's even kind of like on the cover. The Hulk is like, Banner's weak. I've got to do something. And Bruce is like, no, I know what to do. More Banner. Like, don't you see she needs us? I mean, just back and forth with the Hulk and Banner here. And it basically comes down to Bruce saying like our love, our willpower, yada yada. That's what they're trying to break that apart from us and keep us from each other. Great set of panels here as well. I like the juxtaposition of the two reaching out for each other, both on the ground. Same thing up here. So again, I'm gonna compliment the art throughout the issue. But that cover, man, I keep going back to it. And basically, love wins out. I won't lose you because we need you, and the Hulk. And, the Hulk tries to act tough, but every once in a while he lets it slip how he really cares about Betty. I mean, he did it in the last issue with Clute when he was like throwing the dice. He's like, this is for you, Betty. So that's why I also think maybe Peter David kind of knew he was going to get to this Betty story, and I really think the miscarriage is the reason he didn't write it. So their love triumphs. Despair says it here too. He's like, because they have love, it negates my power of despair. So we lost this round, cousin, and we'll meet again next year and try again. And then the two wake up. The Hulk wakes up just like, oh, that was a bad dream, Betty. I hate when I have dreams like that. And she wakes up too, and she kind of has a renewed sense of purpose that she will be able to get through the tragedy of the miscarriage. Next, Iron Tears, as Iron Man guest stars in the next issue. And that's all I got for this one. It's not a bad issue, really. Bob Harris did a pretty good job writing the story that editorial wanted to tell, I suppose. I don't like the cover. I do like the interior art. That's all I got. Until next time, read your comics. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed my breakdown of this issue, you can support the channel by hitting subscribe. It costs you nothing and helps other comic fans find the channel. You can also visit readyourcomics.com for cool merch, like this. Read Your Comics isn't just a brand, it's a mantra. And when you wear a Read Your Comics shirt, you are helping spread the word. For more classic comics conversation, be sure to follow me on Instagram at read.your.comics. And if you're still here, why not watch one of my older videos? Here or here.